All right, folks, start your weekend off right with BEG Wrestling. It's Fridays live at 5, okay? And it's a new show that we have, and it's going to be every week at Friday, hopefully around 5 o'clock here with a lot of people know you as Cornell Kevin. But, Kevin, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you? Happy Friday.
It's great. Kevin is going to be bringing our info and the knowledge. And but let me first of all summarize what the show is. So I want this show to be, obviously we're going to continue with our Tuesdays at 7 edited pre-recorded episodes with Wayne and occasionally Kevin and other guests. However, we wanted to add a fan interactive experience, folks. So we want you to join in the comments, and you can call in as well. And we can have you join live here if there's something that you want to discuss, something that you want to bring up. Obviously this is a live stream, so things are not going to go according to plan all the time. But hey, we're going to roll with it, and that'll include the call-ins. But we want to make this, start your weekend off right, man. Everyone's having a good time on Friday. Everyone's getting off work, and it's a good way to kind of supplement our Tuesday show because it's hard to. There's a lot of stuff that happens in a week. You know what I mean? And Kevin, yeah, man, I want to kind of thank you. You've kind of gotten involved here in BEG Wrestling, and you're going to bring a lot of knowledge here to this. But again, see, we got Rob Huey. Again, this is going to be way more laid back than the Tuesday show. And I think that edited, pre-recorded, it kind of allows us that ability. But so, hey, open discussion, man. This is going to be an open discussion. Yeah. Have a drink, dude. Relax. Rob Huey's already in the chat. David Taylor to Okie State. And, folks, obviously that's the breaking news, dude. That's the first thing that we have to talk about is reports are in. They're breaking from Kevin, what's his name, was on Matt Scouts. With Willie.
Yeah.
Who Willie, do you have
on? What's his name?
This week.
Fellers, yeah. Or yeah, Fellers. Yeah, and he was talking about it, and they were just discussing how it's kind of crazy because he's so tied down to Penn State. You know, he's got his MM2, and then his all sorts of different clubs and businesses there, and his in-laws just moved there. But man, when you get an offer like that, you get to interview at Oklahoma State. I mean, that's one of the premier wrestling schools in the country.
It's Fellers who broke the news literally minutes ago, folks. Fellers who broke the news that I guess David Taylor is officially interviewing there. So, wow. I tell you what's interesting, man. Obviously David Taylor just signed this Nike deal, and we all kind of expected him to go and win an Olympic gold medal, right? And that kind of didn't happen, and it was kind of up in there. If he wins gold, is he going to retire? Is he not? No one was really given any clear insight there. In fact, I even had a conversation with his dad at those World Olympic trials. He's not giving anything away, and but it is just interesting because they're certainly got a situation that they did not expect, right? I mean, what are your thoughts here on David Taylor going forward?
Well, I mean, the thing I think is strange is I thought everyone seemed to think that Coleman Scott was the shoo-in. You know, he left his head coaching position at UNC to take the assistant coaching job at Oklahoma State, and everyone kind of thought he must be doing that because John Smith's retiring, and Esposito went and took the job with USA Wrestling, which he's further moved on to NC State assistant. But I kind of thought that was done. Like it was Coleman Scott, but then,
everyone did. We did. We talked about Coleman Scott shoo-in.
Yeah, apparently it was a done deal, And then they're like, well, they got a law where they have to wait 5 days before they can take the job. So it's like, okay, so we're just waiting for that. But then all of a sudden, it's just a couple of weeks goes by, and rumors said they hired an outside firm to look for different coaches. So I'm like, maybe they're just going through the channels that they have to go through. I don't know, but this is crazy.
Well, let me tell you something, man. I've spent 15 years in corporate America. Let me tell you, translation of what hiring outside firm to make the hire means.
Yeah.
That means we don't want to not hire you. We want someone else. We want to be able to put that blame on someone else. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Technically, listen, you got to stay with us, man. I loved you as your GM and the person you have to report to every day going forward. We have to talk. But this outside firm, man, it was just not kind of out of my hands.
Yeah.
Is that what's about to happen to Coleman Scott, dude?
Here's another thing I thought about, which I don't think people really talk about much, and maybe there's a reason for it, but what if you're Esposito, right? And you're an Oklahoma State wrestler, and then you are the assistant coach, and then you're there for 15 years, right? And then you decide to leave, and then boom, Coleman Scott gets hired, and the word is that he's going to replace John Smith. What I'm wondering is, was there any conversations with John Smith and Esposito beforehand? Did he offer him? Did he say, listen, I'm going to leave soon, and you can probably take over for me? And he said, no, I want to go with this USA Wrestling thing. Or did he just not say anything, and all of a sudden, Coleman Scott comes over, and then it looks like he's going to get the job, and then maybe they're going through this process so it doesn't look bad? I don't know. It's strange, but because I don't think that Esposito would turn down that job for the USA Wrestling job, especially since he already left that job.
I mean, all great points. And one thing that you said that sticks out to me, man, is, dude, there's a lot of weird things that are happening. Now let's think about this. Okay, Oklahoma State, John Smith, arguably the GOAT, legend, retires in a year. Now, as we're finding out, they're going to be Penn State's biggest competition, and it might be a clear second, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So those two things kind of don't make sense, right? And then,
right.
You thought Coleman Scott was a shoo-in, and then that doesn't happen, and now we're hearing rumors of David Taylor. So there's 4 things that are all kind of weird that happen. If I think about it and connect the dots a little differently, something would tell me maybe this David Taylor thing has been in the works.
Yeah.
Do people behind the scenes know about that? Is that where all these transfers are going to Oklahoma State? Really? You know what I mean? That's a legitimate question, right?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering is, why you would think that these guys would, be going to Oklahoma State knowing who the coach was going to be. You would think, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that's a big decision.
Exactly.
So there has to have been talk, and I don't know.
I would think.
Because, there, it's said that they're going after, like, everybody, all these big names.
I got a question. How can David Taylor incorporate that Nike deal with an Oklahoma State head coaching job? Bring Nike to Oklahoma? I don't know. Is there maybe?
I don't know.
Oklahoma State also sign with Nike then? Would that be a package deal he brings? Maybe upgrade the wrestling facility like Iowa did, which we'll talk about later, but we got some other big things that have happened. Again, folks, I just want to remind everyone, Rob Huey is getting in on the chat. Also, Wayne Beaver. Oh, he was a guest on the show last week, I think, earlier this week. But, Rob Huey, they tried to interview Casey Cunningham, too, but he declined. So they tried to interview Casey Cunningham also. Really? Oh, my goodness. That Penn State room is tight, Kevin.
What I was hearing was they're getting paid. Those assistants at Penn State are getting paid good, because one thing that Cal was said to have been complaining about was that he wanted those guys to get paid a lot. And because of the new athletic director, that all worked out well for him. But what they were talking about on Mad Scouts was that there was a time where Cal was not happy at all with the old athletic director, and he openly said that he would consider going to Oklahoma State if that opened up. So now you see David Taylor, and the thing is like, so, you don't know how long
David Taylor, and Cal being David Taylor's mentor.
Yeah.
It makes it probably more likely for him to have that line of thinking, I would think, right?
Yeah, because Kale's probably saying, like, this is obviously something Kale was said, so he's probably like, this would be good for you, because Kale, I don't think, is going to leave anytime soon. He's got everything set up great.
Well, he can't leave now.
Yeah. And
Kale can't leave now.
Is David Taylor going to sit there and wait,
but
10, 15 years to get a head coaching job there?
No. And who knows? Kale could be there even longer than that. But what an awesome storyline it would be to have then David Taylor go back to go to Oklahoma State, and it'd be almost like Kale flip-flops his alma mater to Penn State, and David Taylor then does the same thing, right? And then they're the ultimate rivals.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great for wrestling.
Wrestling better, because, like, the gap with Penn State, I mean, I'm all for anybody just closing that gap a little bit, making it more, 100 points. And they just put up article showing the U20s, right? They were saying how colleges did on the U20s. And Penn State had the most points. Cornell was second. And they were second by 100 points, just like the NCAA's, 100 points behind Penn State. And so it's not like this is going to go on for a while if something doesn't change or something doesn't.
As Rob says, if Taylor does go to Oklahoma State, there would be a huge. I mean, that would completely balance the entire sport, I would think, and probably immediately, pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and maybe it's already happening before our eyes, and like things are happening behind the scenes. I tell you, that is kind of how things work in business and sports. Things happen behind the scenes before they happen.
Yeah, I mean, did Dean Hamidi just go there not knowing who the coach was going to be or thinking John Smith was going to be the coach? I mean, he left the place he was with his whole career. That's a big move for him. So someone had to say, listen, this is going to be the coach. We're going to try and get this guy or something.
I don't know, man. I do know that if he does go to Oklahoma State, what a great thing for the sport of wrestling. I mean, that would be, man, you'd have Tom Brands in Iowa, dude, and David Taylor in Oklahoma State, and wow.
Now, does that mean his senior level career's over with then, or what? If he gets this job, I mean, it's kind of hard to do both. I mean, we did see Kale come out of retirement and do it in 2010, I think. But to be top level, that's a tough. And I know some people are like, oh, the torch has been passed, but here's the thing.
There's only two matches.
If Brooks doesn't do that amazing hip out there at the end with that, I mean, that inside trip Taylor had, if Brooks doesn't somehow get his hips around, it's 1-1 going into a third match. And to me, I mean, that just didn't look like David Taylor at all. And I know you mentioned too, and I agree that first.
It's a whole different angle to think about it, man. Really is. Would it be over? I mean, Rob says it'd be over, but he's going to be in a wrestling room every day, right? Theoretically, but say he doesn't take a job. That angle is his career over. Say he doesn't take the Oklahoma State job. Is then his wrestling career over?
And can Oklahoma State say, listen, we're going to offer you $800,000 a year, but we need your focus on here. Your senior level career's over. Can they do that? Would they do that? Would they? Would
that be part of the agreement? Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say to that? I mean, there's so much to swallow here. In the
$800,000, you think that's what it would take? Isn't Tom making like 500? Tom Brandon making like 500,000, right?
I heard they said that they offered the job to Jordan Burroughs. I don't know if it's true or not, and they said it was $750. But John Smith, I think, made $650 last year. Who knows?
Speaking about money, dude, and money in Penn State, apparently Carter's the highest paid NIL wrestler. Did you see that on Twitter?
What does a four-timer go for these days?
What does a four-dot? Yeah, I'd like to know. I mean, the crazy thing is we don't hear real numbers, but
yeah.
Man,
have you ever thought about, like, it kind of seemed like just not a waste of money, but 1 year, right? I'm not saying Carter's not a waste of money, but some of these guys that we're hearing, 300,000 and stuff like that, it's like someone like, okay, say Kyle Parko, right? Kyle Parko is probably going to get you at most maybe 12 points on the NCAA.
Yeah, that is a crazy thing to me, man. Like,
so
I could even say that. Go ahead.
That's just assuming that they had nobody in line there. Maybe if they had someone beforehand that might have got 3 points. So there's a 9-point difference. So it's like, are you going to pay $300,000 for 9 points? I don't know. Is that
at the end of the day? That's what it is, though. Yeah, and that is the crazy thing. And then you can even parallel that to like college football or college basketball. I mean, really, what? Okay, outside of like a quarterback, or really, I mean, what kind of money is? What are you getting for that money? I mean, I guess you just have to kind of pay the whole to get a good team. Or I guess in wrestling, it probably, now that I think about it, might be more effective in wrestling because it essentially kind of is an individual sport. I don't know. What do you think about that?
It's, to me, I agree with that. It also seems like kind of a Band-Aid to fix a problem at times. Like, are you going to do it year in and year out? Because like Iowa. Who is Iowa recruiting? It seems like they're not getting any recruits right now. So maybe they're going all in on these guys. What's that?
I said Alirez is out there.
Yeah, I mean, someone could grab Alirez, Parko, Hendrickson, Cannon, even what's his face there, the 125-pounder from Virginia Tech there, Cooper Flynn.
Yep, Cooper Flynn.
There's a lot of there's. Someone could grab all those guys, but then, okay, you got a great team, super team for a year, but then what are you going to do? And how much did it cost you? You grab those 5 guys, is it going to cost you $3 million? Maybe it's not even a big deal. Maybe the NIL money is so big with the donors and alumni that they just got this.
That's what's crazy to me, man. Is $500,000 for 6 points in the tournament? Is that nothing to them? I don't know. Brian's on the line. Brian, welcome to the show, man. What do you got on your mind, man? Type in the chat, or if anyone wants to call in, I guess I should probably put that link in the comments, folks. That would help. Hey, listen, first time, first show. Developing a new show, very difficult, folks. Right? I mean, Kevin, we've been working on this. We've been talking about this, developing this since like Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's exciting.
No, listen, I'll say this, man. We've had, it's just hard to supplement information when so much happens in a week and we do one show, which most of the time has been pre-recorded, and then I edit it, and a lot of times there's stuff that happens in between my editing. We usually record Sunday night, and then Tuesday night it comes out. Stuff happens, man, all the time, so...
And then everybody's yelling in the comments.
All right, hey, we got Kevin. Hold on, we got Brian calling in here. Let me see. First ever call in, Brian. Let me see if we can make this work. Brian, can you hear me there, man? All right, Kevin, we'll keep going. I gotta just kind of move him to a different camera. But any other thoughts here on any other angles here on the David Taylor and this whole current situation as it's kind of developing here, folks?
No, I'm curious to see. I'm also curious to see, is Coleman Scott cool with all this? Is he going to stay in his position? Because he left a good job at UNC. That's a good job. I know they're not like.
His thoughts on his hindsight. Yeah. Does he? Brian, just kind of. Brian, I don't know if you can see us and hear us.
I can.
But if you can, man, welcome to the show. Thanks for calling in. You're the first ever caller, man. Hey, how about for Brian, dude? Touche, baby. Brian, what's on your mind, man?
It must be easy because I did it, so I didn't.
Exactly. So, example for the rest of everyone, man. It's not hard to call in. But Brian, what do you got on your mind?
I just can't imagine David Taylor leaving State College, even if you subtract all of his wrestling. He has so much money in businesses and a home. Like, we've seen all the videos of his farm and his smoothie place, and
K2
and he's
roots.
a god, right? He's a god in state college, right? Like he's as big as football players are.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean,
his in-laws just moved there too.
Just had a child. K2 roots business, farm there, legend in Penn State. I mean, these are all great points that Brian brings up here that would make it very difficult if I'm David Taylor to leave. But, I mean, how much money would it take? Because, let's be honest, money.
That's what it's going to be. Yeah, talks.
The money talks, yeah.
But when I was sitting in the green room, I heard him, I think Kevin saying, too, there's going to be some upset Oklahoma State guys, too, if he gets that. You can't imagine them hanging around.
Yeah,
so it's going to be David Taylor.
Well, that's the thing we talked about, Brian, is with the angle of all these transfers who are going to Oklahoma State, and, like, it's confusing to me if they don't know who the head coach is going to be.
Yeah, I wonder who
they're like, do they? Or are there things behind
what I saw was Hendrickson, and I'm like, how does a guy like him, who has a million offers, I'm sure, go to Oklahoma State if he doesn't know who the coach is going to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless he just says...
I'm sorry, go ahead, Brian.
I was saying, and I get it, maybe he has faith it is Oklahoma State. He's going to have an amazing climate and wrestling room and support, but that's still... I've never heard of a big, like, what do you call him, a blue chipper going somewhere, in any sport, not knowing who the coach is.
Yeah, it's a great point, and Hendrickson is, man, that dude is a bonus machine. So he's not your 6-point NCAA guy. He's your 20-point NCAA guy. So that's a big fish.
And you have to imagine he's an absolute perfect role model out of the mat room too.
That's a great point.
Absolutely. He's the guy you want on your team,
man. Great locker room guy, Hendrickson. Yeah, I mean, if you honestly, off the top of your head, if you had to rank the current available transfers, obviously you have Hendrickson out there, Alirez, Parco, Teamer. Give me your top three.
You gotta have. Well, I would say Hendrickson because he went to. Did he graduate from Air Force? Like, can you graduate from Air Force?
Yeah, they got a rule like they do in the Ivies where he could only be there for 4 years, so he had to go.
See, that was the other confusing thing because there was a lot of people when I initially said that Hendrickson was going to transfer a few weeks back, and some people called me crazy, and they said it was impossible because he was at the Air Force and you can't transfer out. But
he had to get a letter.
Around everything.
He had to get a special letter. Yeah, a letter, like approval letter from Air Force. That's what actually took him so long to enter the portals because he had to get this approval letter, which he did.
And either way you look at it, he had 4 years at one of our United States military academies, which means he's been shoved leader down his throat for 4 straight years. So,
role model.
I think, just everything about him. He's, if you think about it, he'd be a David Taylor kind of guy, wouldn't he?
No kidding. I know what you mean, though, Brian. Like, when you were saying, like, if there's going to be people ticked off, I know what you mean because it's how many, like, Coleman Scott guys are in there, that, like, how many of his guys are thinking he's going to get the head coaching position, all of a sudden Taylor comes in.
And like
guys,
you said,
I'm trying to try to keep up with the comments real quick because James S. just brought up a great point. They better figure it out soon because they lose it, because then they could lose commits. So there's the other end of the spectrum. There is, okay, how long is Oklahoma State going to leave this vacancy open? Because at some point it is there's probably transfers who are 50-50 right now, and they're waiting on a coach to be named, right? Yeah, it does baffle me. Now I'm biased too. I'm a Pennsylvania guy. I'm a Lock Haven grad. When I was at Lock Haven was beating Penn State in dual meets, but it's I follow Penn State, always have. So I'm biased. I would be personally upset if he left State College. Selfishly is the word. Selfishly upset. So, but it's a lot
still
of
weird.
people would.
Yeah, but with all those financial roots and not in personal roots, man, that'd be.
Rob also it's K2M2. Justin Young says he actually thinks Ben Askren would make a bigger impact as far as, I guess, competition against Kale than David Taylor. I don't know.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, That's a debate in itself.
I think they'd be recruiting machines, both of them, right?
Yeah.
Now would Askren be? His academy was they're just studs everywhere. But
Ben Askren has a really good relationship with John Smith too. Really good relationship with him, and yeah, Ben Askren would have all those top Wisconsin guys going.
Why isn't Ben Askren being interviewed for this?
Maybe he is.
His reason for leaving Flow?
Yeah, like he didn't leave Flow to coach just what he's been doing. He left it because he wants to do something else. You would think.
Yeah, he said he wanted to coach all day. All day, they said, right? It's his ultimate goal.
I've listened to the whole Flow. Yeah, I mean,
sure.
He wants to coach.
Sure, yeah, that's true. I'm sure you did. Yeah.
I mean,
and then selfishly there too. I'm like, I don't want him to leave there, but you know what though? I would like to see him coaching somewhere. It'd be interesting at the absolute least. It would be interesting.
I think it'd be great for the sport. As would David Taylor going to be a head coach somewhere. As would Jordan Burroughs. I mean,
Jordan Burroughs says he wants nothing to do with coaching.
That's right, he did say that.
That's what he said, but,
he did.
But I know what you mean, Brian, about Taylor leaving Pennsylvania. It was kind of like when Kyle Dake left to go to NLWC. That was
there you go.
In the heart of a lot of us Cornell people, you know. It was just like, but at the same time, I didn't blame him for that at all, you know.
That's exactly how I feel about Taylor. I'm like, please don't go. I understand, and like you said, it would be absolutely good for the sport. Yeah, seeing these guys other than at clubs would be awesome for the sport. Yeah. Yep.
No, I agree. Folks, a couple comments. Mike B says Ben will be hired, and Justin says I hope so. Everyone agrees he'd be great for the sport of college wrestling if he were to get hired as a head coach. Cole Young says Wayne for president 2024. There might be ballot spots open, Wayne. I don't know if you're listening. Well, Wayne's working right now, but just a reminder, folks, join the comments. Let me repost the link because we're
if someone else calls
live call-ins.
Ben Askren's brother is Max has been said to have been possibly coaching as well.
What was poor Max? What was he? What was he? A 2-time national champ?
I think he just won it once. I think.
He
was a 1 seed as a freshman, I know, and he got upset. I think first round or something. That's
wow.
He's still a smart guy. You know, he's a smart dude.
Sure.
He's everybody would want Ben first. You think? You know?
Sure. Yeah, he's Ben Askren's brother first. Unfortunately. Yeah, obviously, he's. I'm sure I don't know what he's up to, but I'm sure he's doing well. Yeah, as goofy as Ben acted, if you really knew him, he doesn't lack brains. He's an intelligent guy.
He's smart dude, and I really enjoyed listening to him on Flow. You know, like I really enjoyed listening to everything he had to say.
Well, that's definitely going to hurt Flow.
Yes. No matter what Christian says, it will. I was really impressed with his honesty about Messenbrink and Burroughs. What he said about Messenbrink. That was.
I'll say this, man. That's the thing I appreciated the most about Ben overall was his honesty. I mean, Ben. I mean, that was one thing about.
Yeah, Askren. Every right to do that. I've had to choke Mitchell out myself a couple times. He said.
Yeah, that's what he said. He'd have to get him to teach him to chill.
That's awesome though.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Listen. Final thoughts. We got to move on. Brian, listen. Why don't you hang on the line, man? I don't know if you're busy or not. I'll let you know if we get other call-ins because I want to be able to take anyone who calls in. But hang on the line because I think this next topic I want to discuss, I think is pretty relevant to you as well, would be that Carter Starocci's coming back for a 5th year, folks. Carter Starocci's coming back. Apparently, he's Penn State now holding a wrestling match in the football stadium, Beaver Stadium. I think I get an automatic invite just for my last name being Beaver. Just kidding, but
yeah, you would think.
And then my final point before I want to put it to you guys is, Are we looking at a potentially Carter Starocci, AJ Ferrari matchup at 197? Because the other rumors are Carter's got to bump up, right?
I saw that where people are talking about it. I don't think it'd be that close.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome. I think the hype would be great for the sport.
Wait. Clarify that, Brian. Close on what end?
I think if they're both healthy, I think Starocci would major him.
Wow.
I really do.
AJ's bigger, stronger.
Yeah.
So
who knows? Maybe faster. We haven't seen him.
I do go by the tiny little bit. Sorry, I'm outside. The tiny little bit I saw Ferrari wrestle when he made a goofball out of himself. So I remember watching him as a freshman, and he'd still be winning if he never stopped, I think. So
I know.
It's hard to know which Ferrari are you going to get, right? That's another thing.
Which one? You got to get the right. Which reminds me, folks, before I forget, like wear a wrestling shirt every day month. I wore my Iowa one, folks. You got to do your job.
Does Wayne have one of those?
You can't see it, but yeah, it says you got to do your job. What's that, Brian?
Does you got Wayne wearing one of those?
He doesn't have this one specifically. I think.
No,
that's what I want to see. As much as I love Penn State, I'd love to see Wayne in an Iowa shirt.
Okay, well, let's make some bets, dude. Because here's the other thing.
He doesn't even wear yellow.
This is episode. Yeah, he doesn't really. He just wears blue. But this is episode 1. I want to have like trivia, polls, games every week. Yeah. And I didn't figure it out in time for this week, but I want to have literally every single week someone can win something off the BEG store. I don't know if it's a poll we throw up or something we do, but I want to do everything we can to make this interactive. I'm trying to read the comments as they come through. So, again, yeah, I mean, this is just a roundtable discussion. Yeah. But Carter Starocci is coming back to Penn State. So,
do you
first
think
of all,
I do think he'd be a small 197. I do. You're right about that, and I think AJ would be a full 197.
Well, let's first start about how we came from at the end of the Big Tens, Carter left, and basically we all thought he was leaving Penn State and not even wrestling in this year's NCAA tournaments, to fast forward now he's coming back for a 5th year. Wow, things have changed quickly.
I think that part of that has to be like him playing like into it. Like if he just says he's coming back, they have no incentive to pay him that much, right? So he had to play, even if he might have known the whole time he was coming back. He had to play the game, right?
Yeah.
I got better things to do. I don't want to come back. I
don't like school. I love that.
I hate school. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, we got to dish out the money now, because it's not just the NCAA points. It's having the only 5-timer ever, possibly.
See, that money seems worth it to me. That money would be worth it because that's something that would be forever in the history books.
Do you guys know, does he have a bachelor's degree now? And if
I have
so,
no idea. No knowledge of Carter's schooling.
Right, and let's assume he does, and he flat out openly says, I don't want to do school anymore. I don't blame him. I got a master's degree, and I don't want to do school ever again. But if he does and he comes back, does that mean he has to be enrolled in a master's program?
Well, I think he I don't know, but I do know. What I do wonder is he could just come back second semester.
Right, and do the second half. Right, with that wouldn't be weird actually at all, really.
But then part of me thinks that it really bothered him that he didn't win the Hodge Trophy 2 years ago. Like, you remember he put out when Mason Paris won it, he was like putting out, you had like Yanni saying like, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. And then you got, Carter being Carter, and it obviously bothered him a lot. And then this year, I mean, after when he just tore Mekhi Lewis apart in the All-Star, it looked like there's your Hodge Trophy right there. Then he gets hurt, Yeah. So, but if he wants to win that Hodge, I don't think coming back for a second semester only would do that. Maybe it would. I mean, if he's undefeated and he's the only 5-timer, maybe this it's not supposed to matter the previous, but it does.
What if he's a 5-timer without winning a single Hodge? That would be.
I was
crazy.
Gonna say I would if speaking of polls, could you imagine him becoming a 5-timer and not winning the Hodge again?
That's what I mean. You almost have to give it to him.
Yeah.
Just because he's the first ever 5th, right?
I was more impressed.
This is kind of weird, but I was thinking about it. There's some people that I read the comments and they're like, he's a 5-timer, doesn't mean anything. It just means that the 4-timers didn't have a chance for a 5th one and yada, 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 which I understand that to a certain extent. But what I'm wondering is, we don't really look at it like that with the 3-timers that only had a chance to win 3,
You're right. Absolutely right.
Bill Cole, guys like that only had 3 chances and they won all 3 times. We always put them behind the 4-timers, and they only had 3 chances. So maybe not right away, but I mean, down in the future, you would think that, Carter Starocci, 5-time champion, and then the 4-timers. Granted, you got Cal, who's 159-0. It's just kind of interesting to think it like that, though. It's like, because we don't think of those 3-timers up there as the 4-timers. They only had 3 chances.
Great point. And then of course getting injured this year, that ruined his chances. But I was more impressed with his victory over Mekhi Lewis at Nationals than at the All-Star match, because have you ever seen Mekhi Lewis get controlled like that for 7 straight minutes? We had one leg, and by the time he got to that match, the whole world knew that he's not only injured, but it was bad.
Yeah.
And from the first 10 seconds of the match, he was in control. I was super impressed with that.
He shut out like 3 guys in a row.
I mean, he showed grit, man.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. I mean, before we move on, and Brian, I want to get your final thoughts here, but and appreciate you calling in.
This is fun.
Before we move on, I just want to get each of you, not right now, because I think there's going to be bulk added to Carter, but fast forward 6 months, 8 months, whatever it is, Carter Starocci versus AJ Ferrari at 197. Who are you taking and what's the score? Kevin, you start. And then I'll go, and then we'll finish up with Brian so we can close this out. Go ahead.
I'm taking Starocci, but it's going to be 3-1 or something. I think that I have confidence in Hidley. It doesn't get much bigger than Hidley at 197. And we were there and saw the Starocci match, and he was right there with him. He barely lost 6-4. He wasn't getting out muscled. So,
yeah.
But I also know that sometimes he's not necessarily an explosive scorer,
right.
But he had an amazing defense. So I think I'd go like 3-1.
3-1. You got Carter 3-1. Okay. Well, I mean, who I'm going to take. Look, go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
No, go ahead, man.
You changed my mind a little bit, but I still don't. I still think it's going to be. We're going to even if it's 3-1 or 5 or I'm going to say something like 6-2. But I think it was like a Mekhi Lewis match. I don't think he's going to kick his butt points wise, but I think we're going to say, dude, he beat Ferrari from start to finish. That's what I think he'll do. I just think I don't care what he's just too good of an athlete and wrestler combined.
Yeah.
And I think Ferrari is a better athlete than he is a wrestler. I'm not saying he's not an awesome wrestler before people jump on me, but I think there's very few people that can say that Ferrari can get out athleted and out wrestle, and I think Starocci could do that. Not many people could though, but I don't know if Ferrari can make it to I don't know. We're just assuming he will for now.
Well,
right?
Brian, let me tell you something, and Kevin, let me tell you something, because I don't know if you boys saw Ferrari's latest pick on social media. I tell you who I'm picking: AJ Ferrari by pin. Who are you kidding? Ferrari is a dog. This boy is stacked. Have you seen him? I mean, he might hurt Carter. I'm not joking.
What does he weigh? Do you know? Has he posted his weight lately?
Yeah, he's probably like 225 right now. He's gonna have to cut while Carter has to put on weight.
I gotta give Ferrari credit, man. He'd do it too. He'll get down if he needs to. I don't deny his work ethic in any way. And if anyone ever did, they're ignorant as hell. Because Ferrari will work with the best of them. He will. I'll give him that.
All right, Brian. Listen, man. Thank you so much, dude. You are forever a legend
Brian,
on
thanks, man.
BEG Wrestling, dude. Our first ever live call-in, dude. And, hey, man, please call in again in the future.
Yeah, you did something right, man, because all I did is hit that link, and it was easy with my iPhone.
Boom.
Super easy.
Boom. That's how easy it is, folks. Literally, I'll periodically post it in the comments. All you got to do is hit the link. I hit accept, and boom, we got you in. Brian, thank you so much, man. You brought some great insight, man. Great thoughts. So definitely appreciate it. Call in again in the future, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right. All right. And okay. That was cool, man. That worked, right?
He's a good dude. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's on Facebook a lot. I always shoot the shit with him. He's a good guy.
Brian is active on the Facebook. Yeah,
he's a Lock Haven guy. You know, I talked to him about Lock Haven a lot.
Okay.
Because I used to go to the open tournaments there in the late '90s, and always had a spot in my heart for Lock Haven.
I do too, because I'm a PA boy. So come on, come on. But
do you think,
all right.
Let's talk about Starocci real quick. Do you think that? Who do you think wins between him and Keckeisen? Do you think it's a match?
Oh man, I think Keckeisen is really good. I think Keckeisen wins that.
Do you think that has anything to do with him going 197? Do you think that he'd put his? Because I mean, can you imagine if he lost in the NCAA tournament?
Well, that's what I mean. What if it's? I mean, this would. What if it's AJ and Carter in the NCAA finals? AJ knocks him off, dude. Now you want to talk about just storybook.
I think it's a lot. I think 197 is, because Keckeisen's there, I think 197 is I don't want to say easier, but more probable than 184. And I don't know. Maybe he would kick the crap out of Keckeisen. I don't know. But I think it's.
Obviously he's going to make that move to whatever weight he thinks is easier, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, and the thing is, man, is like, you better know for sure if you're going to put your titles on the line. Now, to me, when I'm thinking about the match, Keckeisen is a dog. Like, he's a stud. He had 90% bonus rate, right? But at the same time, Carter's kind of got that it factor, you know, like just that. He gets the job done. It's, you know, it might not always be pretty, but he's hard to bet against in the NCAAs. Kind of like, you know, Yanni, when he was wrestling, Yanni wasn't always pretty in the NCAAs, but man, he won 20 matches in NCAAs, and he always figured out a way, you know, and
yes, he did. In fact, I was going to ask you about Yanni later, but look at this, folks. We got our second call in, and it is BEG Wrestling's own Wayne. Hot dog. You couldn't even be the first, dude. Unbelievable.
Daggone.
There he is.
Are you driving?
Daggone. I had to call in. Zach, every time you move your leg with them shorts on, everybody sees your whole business going on. It's unbelievable.
I don't know why you'd even be looking in that area, dude. We're talking about. I got stats up on the screen, but I don't know if I should say thank you or. I don't know.
I'm just joking. Hey, I wanted to call in and say, awesome job, guys. I actually got to get back to work, but love.
Taylor's going to Oklahoma State, dude. We concluded.
No, he's not. David ain't. He's got that farm out there. He's got pigs to feed. He's got cows to take care of. Goats.
Who's going to feed the animals?
You can move goats.
His in-laws just moved there.
Fun fact, I saw today goats can run 48 miles an hour.
What?
Mind blown. Absolute mind blown, folks.
No way.
That's fake news. That is fake news if I've ever heard it.
I'm pretty sure that's serious.
No, he saw it on the internet. It's got to be true, man.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, I got to go. Great job, Kev. Great job, Zach.
Thanks, Wayne.
All right. Our second call in, just to prove that, it's possible. Before let me try to catch up on some comments here, Kevin, as we go here. Yeah. Rob Huey, no way Ferrari is allowed on the team by the AD, Beth Goats, which, dude, we're going to talk about that, folks. We're going to talk about that. They're yanking him. Some comments on that. Kitty says Mark Hall will make a good coach somewhere. Mark Hall. That's a great point. Mark Hall as a coach.
Yeah,
what's Mark Hall's future?
Yeah, that is a good point.
We haven't talked about that, and we haven't heard anything about that. But he would be a low-key someone who worked hard, and
a good
on the surface, my initial thoughts, he would be a good coach.
Yeah, he is. He looks like a coach,
Yeah, acts like a coach. Acts like a coach. Yeah. No, I agree. Want a red shirt, Mirasola. That's why they want him at 97. Yeah, I mean, I guess if Carter is coming back, Mirasola does have the red shirt. Thanks, Rob.
Yep.
Jeff Ayers, mouse back in the house. What's that, Kevin?
Yeah, that makes sense. And they slide, bars would be at 84. So 97 and have Mirasola, who really has a shot at being a four-timer. That dude, holy crap, he's good. He's so good.
No, I agree. And any final thoughts here on Carter coming back for his fifth? Apparently, he is the highest paid college wrestler. Apparently, they're going to have an outdoor wrestling match for the first time ever in Nittany Lion Beaver Stadium. Wow. Does Carter have pool or does Carter have pool? Because didn't he make the demand that he was only coming back if they had a wrestling match in the football stadium? Boom! They're doing it.
He played the game right, man. He played the game. I'm telling you, he played poker. He was saying he wasn't coming back. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, man, how could he not? How could you, with the ego, man? The ego is, you can be the only one ever to do it.
I would,
and you're going to pass up on it? Come on.
I mean, it'd be one thing if you had an NFL league to walk into and like a $10 million contract waiting. That's not the case in wrestling right now. It might be in the future. Not. We'll talk about that too. But
you can't make that money anywhere else right now.
Exactly. It just doesn't make sense, and your name would forever go down in history. So I get it. If I'm Carter, I'm rooting for him and AJ in the finals, and then just let it happen, baby. But anyway, before we move on, Rob Huey, can Wayne address the flow rumors? Yes. So, I mean, I was gonna make a joke, but people might take it serious. Yes, Flo offered him a lot of money, but I counter-offered and beat him. So he's sticking here. He's staying with BG Wrestling, folks. No.
Yeah, can't lose Wayne.
But, all right, man. One of the other big topics here I wanted to talk about was just the transfer portal. So we have Alirez out there, reports of him getting $500,000 offers from Iowa. And what was it I saw? No, wait, it was who gave him the initial offer, then someone countered, someone matched. Wyatt Hendrickson made his first of apparently 4 visits to Oklahoma State. Michigan's Chris Cannon just went into the portal. Kevin, tell us what you know about transfer portal, man.
Well, I kind of did a little breakdown. I had some time on my hands. There's 205 guys in the portal right now, right? Mm-hmm. And 30% of them are graduates, which I thought was interesting. Then it went 10% seniors, 16% juniors, 21% sophomores, 23% freshmen. And then 205 is a lot of guys, though, in the portal. Don't you think? Would you have thought there was 205 guys in the portal?
No. I mean, I've literally heard about less than 10. I mean, I'm only reading about the big names, but 205? Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And there's been 23 that have transferred out of those 205, like Dean Hamidi per se. It's like 23 in his situation. Out of those 23, 10 of them were graduate. And the college that got the most transfers so far this year out of the portal, I will give you $1,000 right now, Zach, if you can tell me which college got the most transfers from the portal.
This year.
Yep.
For $1,000. That means it's a school that no one would think of.
I'll save the show some time.
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
It's Ganon, Division II. Ganon has gotten 3 transfers from the portal, followed by Minnesota, Oklahoma State, Michigan, Northern Illinois, all with 2.
Ganon.
Yep. And then I saw the schools that have lost the most have been Lock Haven, Michigan State, and Oregon State have all lost 2.
Man, can you send me those or put those in the chart so we can post them up on BEG Wrestling Facebook, Twitter.
You got it.
And now Instagram, folks. We are now live on Instagram. So that'll mainly be to put shorts together to highlight these episodes and the Tuesday episodes. But
what else did I see here? Oh, I saw
that's
there's
good
23,
information.
Yeah, 23 transfers have made. 14 of them have been like bigger names. What I mean by bigger names are like, all-American caliber guys or guys that are, round of 12, or, guys that can score some NCAA points, basically.
How about the question, Kevin, what does this year compare like to the past couple years? Because we talked about earlier this week how it feels like there's a decline in the transfers this year, right? And
I mean,
is that a fact or is that just a feeling?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. I was looking at transfers last year, and there was a lot more big names being transferred. I mean, this year
it felt like that.
Yeah, there was for sure. I mean, this year, you got Hamidis, Sadaltic, Cardenas, Alvarez, Fish, Askey, Whiting, Camacho, Hendrickson, Flynn, Parco, Alirez, obviously. But last year, there was a ton of, there's probably like twice as many big names. And I think that there's going to be a correlation too with that, the COVID year. Like this next year is the last year of the COVIDs. I got a COVID year, unless someone is a medical shirt person. So a lot of these graduate transfers, they're guys that are taking their 5th year, and the 30% are graduate transfers. So that's a big, it's a big number out of the 205, 30% of them are transfers. That's, it's like over 60 guys.
Yeah. Wow.
So a lot of those guys, I think which I'm looking forward to, because I'm so sick of guessing how many years everybody has left. It's just nothing surprises me anymore. And literally it's just like, he's got another year left. Really? He's got another year left? How is that? I mean, I looked at Michael Beard's, like his path. It was just crazy. He's just so many years. It was nuts. It's like, how is it possible?
You can get Olympic red shirts, medical red shirts, COVID red shirts. Like, dude,
unreal. It's just like, come on, man. Like, but yeah, there was a lot more last year. And I think it's going to, I don't know. I'm really against it in the fact that I don't like the fact that the small schools, like I hate to see Northern Colorado lose Alirez. I hate to see
any reports on where he's going.
I just hear the same thing everyone does pretty much of Iowa's a big one and Oklahoma State,
Probably pending David Taylor hire.
Right. You got to figure Michigan's always in the mix. Michigan makes sense, really, because, I mean, you got to wonder, too, what weight's he going to go? Is he going to go 41 or 49? He doesn't have to make 65 kilos for a while, which is 143. Maybe he goes 149. I don't know, because see where he fits in. But, I mean, he fits.
Great question.
He fits in a lot of places.
How about any insider information on Wyatt Hendrickson, man?
Why it seems like it's Oklahoma State or Michigan, Missouri.
Those are top 3.
I just see him at Oklahoma State. I don't know why. I just keep, or I don't know, man.
You got a gut feeling, Oklahoma State.
That or
I mean,
Michigan.
he does feel like a cowboy. He does act like a cowboy. You know what I mean?
I think that, or maybe he's like, man, Michigan. Maybe he wants to follow, Mason Paris. I don't know. I think Oklahoma State.
That's your gut.
Even though he doesn't know who the coach is going to be.
The other news, Chris Cannon. I mean, and give me any names I'm missing here off my brief notes.
Well, I think I wonder if Parco, it's going to affect him, Aliris going in the portal. If Aliris is like, I'm going to be a 149-pounder, you wonder how that's going to affect the shopping at Parco.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you think they're not playing off each other, or one's playing off the other? At least one of them's playing off the other. Probably Parco playing off Aliris, right?
Yeah, I mean, and you wonder why Parco's a graduate, but I mean, you wonder if he's leaving because Larkin is going to go 49, but Larkin looks like he's a 57-pounder, man. That guy, how the heck did he make 65 kilos? Remember how big he looked at
that's
trials?
A good question for the weight question is a good question for a lot of wrestlers at Olympics. Yeah, I mean, I think it affected a lot of wrestlers.
Yeah,
at Olympic trials. But
did you hear? So I'm surprised too to hear Teamer in the mix of possibly going in the portal.
Yeah, I guess that's not official yet, but
yeah, that's kind of crazy. But I heard that he was bumping up to 65 possibly next year. I don't know.
Isn't there a time frame on these? Are you aware of the time frame? Isn't they have like 2 weeks or something, right? Or am I?
Man, I wish I remember.
Maybe I heard something completely. Maybe that's completely.
I think something like graduates has a longer time, or graduate transfers can still go in, but not.
Bearclaw. Tyler Fortune just brought up. How do we forget about Bearclaw in the portal?
Oh,
dude?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Thank you, Tyler Fortune.
And what weight's he going to go? 57, 65, 74?
Also, just think about the training partners for Wyatt at Michigan. Yeah, maybe you're on to something there with.
Or maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he doesn't want to be around Paris. If he's going to be battling with him. I don't know.
That's a valid question. I don't know, but how about Bearclaw, dude? Where's Bearclaw going? What if Bearclaw goes to Iowa?
I read something that it really had to do with his schooling on why he transferred. He didn't even want to go.
What?
But
But
why? Why wouldn't you want to start somewhere?
You must have read that on a Penn State forum, Kevin. Schooling? What? How about maybe the fact he ain't going to see the starting lineup ever, and this dude could be a place winner? Are you joking right now? Schooling. Get out
Who's
of here.
going to be who do you think is going to be Penn State's 74-pounder?
Barr, right? Is that Barr?
No, Barr will be 84.
Yeah, okay. Well, Levi, I think Levi bumps up. I got to think about this, man. I'm having
yeah, well, because it's possible. I don't see Messenbrink going to 74 because Ben Askren said he could have made 57 this year.
Yeah,
and, I know some people are saying they might flip flop, but I mean, Facundo.
Oh, Facundo, that's who it is. Yeah. So, schooling.
Yeah, I mean, Bearclaw wants to start.
Schooling.
He wants to.
Come on. Yes,
because
as he rightfully should, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
why not?
And it's kind of a shame. It's not a shame he went to Penn State. It's a shame he didn't get to start, more years because, who knows? Like, he's certainly going to transfer somewhere, and he's certainly going to AA, right? I'm not crazy there, Kevin.
No. I mean, he could make 57.
Could he win? Could he challenge for a title? Obviously, he could. He's been in the Penn State room. Obviously, he could.
He lost to Griffin like 2-1 or something. It was close. He can't make 57 though. I think he'd be 65. But he's
I
a
mean,
good
thank you
get
for bringing that
anybody.
up. I don't know how I forgot about Bearclaw in the portal.
Thanks, man.
Wow. Dude, they keep things so tight in Penn State. I mean, we can't even it's hushed that when the transfers leave.
And there's not many of them, though. Who leaves Penn State, Nobody.
Not
But
many.
in his situation, you got to leave if you're him. What are you going to not start ever? I mean,
you have to. And it's the right thing to do. Let's be honest, dude.
Yeah.
It's just simply, it's the right thing to do for him, for Penn State, and for the program that he goes to. It's the right thing to do across the board, right?
One thing I want to say is I was looking through the big names in the portal, right? And every one of them I can see, okay, this guy's leaving because of this. This guy's leaving, whether it be, the coaching or he can't make the lineup or money. But the one I don't understand is why is Cooper Flynn leaving Virginia Tech? I couldn't really, and maybe somebody that is a Virginia Tech fan could answer that question. Because I don't know, maybe do they have some stud like freshman coming in, or did he just not? It's just weird to me because I don't know. I don't know why he's leaving.
It's a good question.
He's a junior.
What is the why behind every transfer? Because
yeah,
the simple response would be, well, money, but that's not always the case.
Right.
Like Bearclaw, that's not the case. That's not.
Yeah.
Bearclaw ain't leaving for money, dude. Like,
and
why is Cooper Flynn? Cooper Flynn, is he big enough to get money from a NIL deal? I don't. Would that be the reason? Maybe a university is. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to test the market. Because correct me, he can just come back, right? If he wants.
Yeah, he's a junior. He's only a junior.
Like to Virginia Tech, though. I mean, like.
Yeah. Yep. I would think
he'd
be the 125 starter again. In Virginia Tech, man, they have some recruits coming in. Holy crap. Like, I looked at their 2025 recruits, but that's not this coming year. It's the next year they have them coming in. And they got, they're doing good. They did good in the portal. They got Wolax there from Columbia.
Yeah, Wolak. That was Wayne's guy.
Yeah.
And
me and him were high on him. The Ivy League champ there.
Worked out well. Out well. Before we move on, listen, I got to ask you, in your opinion, who is your biggest competitor to Penn State this upcoming year? Because Wayne said it was Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I would, and I'm just kind of, I'm in that thought. I'm thinking that they're going to get a couple of these guys at least, So if they don't get any of these guys, it really depends on who gets these guys. Because what if Iowa gets all these guys? Then it would be Iowa. If Oklahoma State gets a couple of
Did you hear that? Did you say Iowa? Because that's who's the real biggest competitor to Penn State. Come on, it's Oklahoma State. They don't even have a head coach right now. What? They don't even have a head coach right now. I'm talking about Tom Brady. Brand new facility, folks. I don't know if you've seen it. It's arguably the best wrestling facility in the nation, right? I mean, there's other good ones out there. Ohio State, Penn State, obviously. But they're not brand new like Iowa is. And I don't know if you've seen the video. What is it? I guess it was YouTube. Tom talking about the new facility, talking about the new Spencer Lee statue out front, which it's a bird. It's a Hawkeye, dude. I didn't know if he.
Does it have a knee brace on?
I mean, if I'm Spencer, I'm like, dude, it's a bird. That's not me. What are you talking about? Anyway, but and I don't know if you listened very closely to the interview. First of all, before I talk about the video and some of the comments that Tom made about the new facility, this facility, come on, the Ferraris are here, dude. They're gonna figure this out and make it. They're gonna land some of these transfers. Are things not looking up for Iowa right now?
Well,
because
they
feel like
have to land them because they don't have any recruits. They have like one recruit, like the Duke guard. But so what are they? I don't know. What are they doing? Like, I don't know. You would think that they'd have to be going all in. They have to be going all in on this.
Wait. So their recruiting class is that bad? Expand on that a little bit.
As far as I know, they only have like one like top big board. Let me look. Let me confirm this. Leduca. It's unbelievable. I looked at it and I want to pull it up so I don't say anything wrong, but
yeah,
I looked at it and I was like, is this even possible? This is like who they have?
While you look that up, J. Bell Bearclaw weighed in at 160.3 when he was wrestling Shane Griffith at 174. Wow.
He weighed in at what?
Wow.
160.3?
Yeah. So he was 14 pounds lighter than Shane Griffith and put up that match.
57.
Bearclaw is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and he's on the open market, folks. Wow. Free agent alert. Unbelievable, dude. I mean,
here we go.
Why do we not have free agent alerts in wrestling like they do the NFL? I mean, seriously. Breaking news reports. Maybe I'll start doing them.
Here we go.
What do you got? What do you got?
I'm looking right now. I got it up on here we go.
The Iowa recruiting class, folks.
Iowa.
Kevin, our insider.
ABC. There we go.
Willie
there we
Saylor
go,
claiming Haynes redshirting and Kazak going 157 from Rob Huey. Interesting point. Also said sounds like Arizona State for Bearclaw.
Kazak is going from 141 last year to 157 because he was 141 at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He did fill out though he was a 149 pounder. Okay, so this is crazy. So Iowa for 2000 and oh my God, it just unbelievable. Hold on. Iowa for
it's live, folks. Call in, join in, comment. Go ahead.
Help me out. Iowa for 2024, they have on the big board. They have the seven listed as Ferrari, Angelo Ferrari. Then they have 33 Estrada, and that's it for top 50.
Wait, that's it?
Everything else is like 100.
What?
Then in 2025, which Cornell has a nasty recruiting class. That they got Cornell in 2025 has 8 guys in the top 50. And Virginia Tech has a good one too. But Iowa has oh my God, there's only 2 people even listed for 2025. They have the number 6. DeLuca. I said Leduca. I'm sorry. DeLuca. I don't know why I kept saying Leduca. I know someone named Leduca. That's why. That's it. They have number 6, and then they have a guy listed that's not ranked in the top 150. That's it. You got look at how does that happen? How does Cornell have 8 in the top 50, and then the Iowa Hawkeyes have number 6? That's it.
Okay, that is troubling.
What's going on?
Tyler Fortson says, now go check Penn State. I don't know if you're live, Kevin. You can do that. And then I also want you to check the 2040 Iowa recruiting class because I'm pretty sure they all actually have the number 1 current.
Beaver? That Beaver guy?
I just kidding.
So Penn State for 2025 has
Penn State,
PJ
baby.
Duke
Here we go.
Number 1. PJ Duke number 1. Then they got Henkel number 5. And then they got number 17, number 27, number 62. So they got 4 in the top 50, and then they got the 62nd guy.
Kevin, I'm gonna continue to make requests, dude, because I'm a chart guy and I love charts.
Let me tell you,
I know I made a request. I want Penn State versus Iowa recruiting rankings. I can do that one, dude. What? Because I already asked you to do one. Right?
Yeah.
Did you write that one down? Or do I have to watch this again to remember that one? What was that other chart I was talking about?
That was the we kind of went over that. The you mean the one I sent you or the one that I was gonna
we were talking about making. We'll figure it out, dude. We'll talk about it later. But anyway, keep going, man. Penn State recruiting.
Cornell has number 4, 23, or no, I'm sorry, 4, 14, 23, 26, 29, 34, and 72, which I think he's way. Elijah Diakomihalis is a stud. He's a junior.
Heard that name
and
before.
He's way better than he's also a big dude, man. He's wrestling 190. He's the youngest one. He's wrestling 190. But he won Fargo. He won. He just got second at the U.S. Open U17s. He lost to the dude from Iowa. It's an absolute animal. But Iowa, though, I just still can't get over this. How do they have number 6 and that's it? It doesn't make any sense. Virginia Tech.
Okay, well, how many are uncommitted in that top? Because then I want to also parallel it to the uncommitted, because that could change drastically, right?
Real quick, just so I don't lose the spot, and then I'll answer that. Virginia Tech, right, for 2025 has number 12, 24, 25, 33, 36, and 50. That's surprising. That
is
6
surprising.
guys.
Why is
6
that?
guys in the top 50.
What's going on there, dude? What has changed in Virginia Tech?
6 guys in the top 50, and I think their 2024 class.
That is where the professional paid wrestling league is going to be held.
There you go. They want to
maybe, dude. Maybe they just want to make that easy transition, not have to buy a new house after college, and just transition right into the professional league. That would make sense. That would make sense, though.
And then they got 4 in the top 50 for 2024. So I mean, they're bringing in a lot of
Virginia
guys.
Tech.
I'm sorry. What did you ask me?
We got to look into them.
Sorry.
What's that?
What did you ask me before then? When I
no idea.
Okay.
But
Iowa. Let's look at it. So Iowa 2024 is Okay, here we go. So Iowa 2024
recruiting class here.
Oh, geez, it's not good.
Do they have a team ranking? Recruiting class ranking? Where are we at?
Okay, they got number 7, number 33, number 67, and 102. That's it. So they got 2 guys in the top 50. In 2 full years, they have 3 top 50 guys. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech has 12. Cornell has 14. How do you only have 3 guys in the top 50?
Okay. That is concerning, dude. And that actually leads me to the other point I wanted to make. So I did watch the Tom Brands interview about the new Iowa facility. And he was asked questions. And Tom Brands is not no dumb dude. Okay?
Right.
He answers very intelligently and very intricately. And he said something very interesting that I thought, which he was asked about. Now, let me think about this. The vision of the Iowa room. And he said something, and you have to listen very closely, because he says, we have, not Have, not HAVE. He said HAD back in 2017 and 18, which is when they made the decision to build this new facility. And I thought that's interesting that he made it a point to specifically recognize that they had the right people in that year.
Yeah.
And then I look up Beth Goetz is hired in 2020. Because could I also take that in maybe they don't have the right people now, or maybe in Tom's mind they don't have the right people now, because
he'll take
it was an interim guy who gave the approval for this wrestling room. Interim.
Did you hear what happened with the AD telling him that they had to share the room with the girls?
Wait, no, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. So the athletic director, I guess, told Tom Brands that this facility, which they worked real hard to get approved, they raised all the money for, they have to share it with the women's team. That's what they were told. Meanwhile, I'm not trying to say that the women don't deserve this or yada yada, but it's a new program, and the room that they had was really good. Like
that would be women's room already has.
like the women's would have been in the the old room. Right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That old room would have been the best women's room around, and it's a really good room. It's not like it's just.
So what are they doing with that room now that they're making the men's and women's share?
I don't know if that's.
Oh, you know what that is, Kevin? Oh my goodness, dude! Listen, I'm gonna bring a little bit of a different perspective here, folks, to the show because I have been in corporate America 15 years. I've seen this play in corporate America. This is Beth Goat's. This is her way of just jabbing back at Tom because she knows she can't do nothing about this wrestling room, but she doesn't like Tom, and Tom doesn't like Beth, and this is Beth's way of like, dude, you can get your wrestling room, but I'll cut it in half because now you got to share it with the women, and like, that's what I see. That's what I see. I know how politics work, and let's be honest, sports is politics. There's a lot of politics in sports, whether it's coaching or NIL or whatever it is. Dude, that just seems like kind of just a jab by, and maybe it wasn't even Beth's decision. I'm completely speculating here, but I bet it was.
Is the girls' team going to be like, just going to be like, nah, we're good. We don't want to be like dealing with brands. We'll just stay in the other room.
Oh, well, that's the other thing. Does the girls' team even want to be? And to be honest, though, you do have to show the girls' team all that due respect in a lot of ways because, dude, I mean, they're changing women's wrestling. Iowa women's wrestling is changing women's wrestling, dude. That's a fact. They are completely dominating this sport, and they're going to force other colleges to develop this. I mean, Penn State, for all the accolades Penn State has, they're way behind the ball here, dude.
Here's the thing.
How is Iowa so far ahead in women's wrestling? Women's!
I know. Here's the thing. I'm not saying that the women don't deserve whatever, but what I am saying is you got to look at it like this. They got the approval. They fought for that approval, that room, right? They raised all the money for it. It's the same thing as if they would have had it in say they had it in a gymnasium, and then they said, listen, you got to share that with the boys basketball team. We're going to, we're putting up a hoop and you need to share it with them. It's the same kind of thing because, it's just because it's wrestling, it seems more of but it's really the same thing. You did all the work and you have to share it with another team now that just came into, development.
Listen, I know it's not fair. It's not fair. Let me tell you something though, dude. Because I've seen this. I've experienced this. I've gotten jobs and I've gotten an office, and then I get a new GM who decides, you're gonna split that office, dude. Or maybe that's not even you're gonna move into this office, and ain't nothing I can do about it, dude.
Yeah,
that's the politics. And Iowa got a new AD, so that's what happened. And she now calls the shots. And let's be honest, she's a woman, so obviously she's gonna value women's wrestling, and which she probably and rightfully should. No, she absolutely should, especially because Iowa is so far ahead of the.
Do you think she values women's wrestling, or she hates brands or both? That's
both. I would think both. Yeah, I think if you had to ask me, I think if Beth could fire Tom today, and I'll be honest, folks, I'm going to reach out to both Tom Brands and Beth for an interview. Now, I'm not going to get it. They're not going to say yes, but I am going to, and I'll give you guys evidence of me reaching out because I'm going to do that because I want to ask them these. I just want to see how they, when you have a conversation with someone, it's very different than.
Just make sure you ask them the right questions.
Well, you're right, Kevin. And to your point, I'll just make sure for the show that I do my job. Right? No.
Seriously though, with Iowa.
Hold on, keep going. I got to do something real quick.
My question is what are they doing with recruiting? Should ask Terry probably. We should ask Terry. Terry's awesome with all the Iowa stuff. on
Terry.
Facebook.
We need to have Terry on.
Great guy.
Terry is our Iowa insider.
He's such a good dude, man. But what I'm wondering, what I want to ask him is, or anybody is, what are they doing? Why did they only have in 2 full years 3 total top 50 recruits when Virginia Tech has a dozen and Cornell, who doesn't even give scholarships, has 14 or 15? What are they doing? They better get all these guys. Then I could at least say, okay, they just plan on getting all, maybe they plan on doing the Michigan route for a few years and just getting all transfer guys. But even that isn't a permanent solution. You need recruits.
Yeah, that's Band-Aids. Transfers are Band-Aids, dude.
And it seems like Iowa's been lacking in recruits lately. And I don't understand why, because it used to be like that's every single top guy you'd hear. Iowa would be in their, in their choices. Now you just don't. It's not like that.
Very interesting point.
Look at Blaze, man. They're like, what colleges you got? And he's like, he says Cornell, Penn State. He names 2 others. Then he goes, he couldn't even remember the 5th and 6th. They were like, Iowa. He's like, yeah, Iowa.
That reminds me. I saw a Blaze comment. Oh, Rob Huey, Blaze, only top recruit uncommitted in that class.
Yeah.
Whoo! I think Penn State has 5 top 10 in 2024. Says Tyler Fortson. Wow.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Estrada is a 3-time California State champ. In the semifinals match, he lost to Root. Was a great match that could have gone either way from Robert Silas. Folks, just going to try to catch up on comments here because we want to keep this as interactive as possible.
So Penn State in 2024 has number 1, Lillidahl, number 3, Sealy, number 5, Connor Marisol, number 6, Zach Ryder, and number 13, Cole Marisol. So they got 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 10. It could, depending on who's ranking, it could be 5 of the top 10, depending on if people have both them Marisols in the top 10. I mean, that's crazy. And then they got crazy. Then they got PJ Duke the next year.
Yeah.
Which Flo, I couldn't believe Flo ranked him number 8 pound for pound.
PJ
in high school. I was kind of surprised.
Wrong.
Yeah.
A couple other comments here showing respect to Clarissa Chun, the Iowa women's head coach. Funny story about that. I went to what was it? The Last Chance qualifier by myself. Couldn't get anybody to come with me. That's where I met Christian Piles. But I just sat. I literally sat in the stands in a spot that I thought would be the most obsolete spot in the whole stands. Mm-hmm. Well, didn't I happen to sit literally, I'm not joking you, dude, in the middle of the women's Iowa section? Just no one happened to be sitting there at the time. And, they all just sat down, including Clarissa Chun, basically right beside me. And I was going to, introduce myself, but then I thought they might all beat me up right here, dude. I'm not even joking. It's like, so I don't know. I'm not. I want to introduce myself, but no. But that is a true story. Also a lot of Iowa fans. But, hey, man, we're coming up on an hour and a half.
So we should get cooking.
I have so many more topics, but yeah, let's make this. Let's try to wrap this up. Work towards ending this up. I want to hear some other just pressing issues here. Yanni's status, dude. Do you have any updates on Yanni's status right now?
Yeah. I got, everyone's kind of been pointing at, he doesn't look the same, and, his concussion.
He's taking a break.
According to Mike Gray, weight is an issue now. He wrestled 149. He was having to lose weight to make that. In 143, it's really becoming a burden to him, I guess. To the point where Mike Gray said that, he said that the next 3 years he's going to go 70 kilos and be able to focus more on wrestling instead of losing weight. So, which I can see that, and I imagine because he got that concussion 2 months before the trials, and it was a serious concussion. He was in the hospital overnight, and so he wasn't allowed to do a lot of practicing, which you could clearly see how winded he was. I don't know how he won that Larkin match because he couldn't breathe. Like literally after the break, I'm like, oh my God, he looks like he's dead, and he really gutted that out. He gutted that out, and he had no endurance, and he looks. I mean, I'm sure everybody out there that's had a really bad weight cut before, you can attest that you have no energy. You just feel like crap. Your body's not working. So he's going to move up to 70 kilos. He's going to probably be trying for the non-Olympic weight, just like Vito is at 61. So that's where he's at. My personal opinion, I think he needs like a 6-month break, man. He's been going at it year round since he was. I heard he was taking a break.
I swear I read a Twitter post or something that said he was taking a break.
He needs to. He needs to take, because he doesn't have that, like, when he was in college, man, he had that, like I said, Starocci has that it factor. He had that it factor. I mean, this is a guy that won 115 out of 117 college matches. And he won 243 out of 246 high school matches. His only losses in 7th grade. So this dude wins, And another thing real quick I'll say that I thought was interesting is I broke down his senior level career. Against international competition, he's 38-4, right? Which is unbelievable. And then against domestic, he's 31-11. So it's kind of interesting. It tells you a lot about the coaches are being able to like game plan for him. I think that
is actually fascinating stat. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I mean 38-4. That's insane. Like that. Yeah. That is like that's crazy.
We're not talking about scrubs here, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that he just doesn't look like he has that do anything it takes to win. Like I will not. I mean, he did against Larkin. He did pull that out, but it's just not. You just don't ever see him like giving up those doubles. Like Mendes just blew through him in 2 doubles, and he tries a chest strap both times. It was like what? So I'd like to see him get back to where it looks like
Mendes
he's not enjoying.
Dog,
that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, he's disinterested, it looks like. And I'd like to see him get back to just take a break, man,
Maybe that's the best. But before we close this up, man, I want to touch on, we have a thread here in the comments that I thought was very interesting. So hang with me as I read a couple comments here. Jay Bell says, and regarding Iowa and recruiting. Jay Bell says, for decades, the Iowa brand recruited itself. Things have changed, and they have not. Then, Robert Silas, maybe the Ferraris have killed their recruiting. Tyler Fortin, do you think it might be the damage their wrestlers sustain? Is it a turnoff for recruits? The Ferrari effect, says Rob Huey. Robert Silas, Chittum left because of them. Yeah. Okay. Brings up a very interesting point, dude. And you have a huge, let's be honest, man, as much as I love the Ferraris, you're talking huge ego, huge presence. That is certainly not a pro if I'm a potential recruit looking to go to Iowa. I mean, that's just a fact, right?
Yeah, you don't want to. So a lot of guys aren't interested in the circus that follows it,
Yeah, interesting point. Great that they. Thank you for bringing that up, everyone in the chat.
At what point do you just realize that it's not worth it? Like
do you cut bait? It's called. Keep talking, Kevin. I'll think of it because I do it all the time, man. It's when I buy something and then I don't want to go. Sunk cost fallacy. It's the sunk cost fallacy, dude. Yeah. At what point do you got to cut? If the Ferraris, I mean, let's be honest. How many points have they produced Iowa at this point on the mat?
Nothing, really.
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah. And how many recruits have they cost them? There is no telling. I don't know. You better produce points, Ferraris. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. All this talk, dude, you better start walking. Next year, AJ. Next year, Ant. All of them better start walking, dude. Because all this talk better not be just a fake out, dude.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Your thoughts, Kevin.
I like Iowa. I think wrestling is better when Iowa is up.
Agreed. Absolutely.
And I feel like it's just the downward. Let's face it, man. There's no way that Cornell should be placing in front of Iowa. It shouldn't happen.
No, ever.
It shouldn't.
Not a single year ever. Now, granted, Tom's been in the top, 16 years in a row or something. So they're not going anywhere. But
right. I just think that, I don't know. I'm just curious.
Chamomine and Portal. Is that Chamomine and Portal, Rob Huey? You know that, Kevin?
Chamomine
is in the transfer portal.
Didn't he graduate? Or no?
Who knows? We don't know anymore.
Yeah,
While you look that up, Kevin, to kind of close us out, I had other things. We want to talk about the World Olympic Qualifier. We might. When is that? Do we have time to do talk about that before that happens?
Yeah, let's talk about it next time because it is.
We'll save that for next time, dude. But folks, I do want to say, okay, new style show. This is the first episode. I thought it went well. Kevin, thank you. You're going to be here weekly. Goal is 5 p.m. every Friday. The goal is I want this to be the most different experience possible from the Tuesday shows. The Tuesdays are pre-recorded and edited, and this is going to be a fan-engaging. Dude, if someone has a hot topic, call in. Just hit the call in. You can stay on for 5 seconds and just give your question, or you can stay on for 5 minutes like Brian did today. I mean, how long? Brian was on for 10 minutes. Brian, thanks again.
That was cool,
our first ever call in. And Brian offers some good intel, folks. And we want to do this because we're trying to build a community of wrestling engagement and fan interact, and especially here in the off season, man, because it's not like the NFL turns off in their off season. And it's not like things don't happen in the off season, dude. We have Olympics, especially this year. We have the Olympics. We have claw wrestling, which I got to give a quick shout out. June 22nd, June 23rd, Ashburn, Virginia. It's at Independence High School. These are paid professional wrestlers. Shane Sparks. I don't know. Kevin, you ever heard of Shane Sparks before?
Oh, yeah, man.
Because he's announcing this first. Awesome. It's basically like a trial event because the league officially starts in 2025. And, I mean, there's big names. Mike Mao used to be on Flow Sports. I think me and Mike Mao might be on the same set, man. But there's big wrestlers also because we're talking about a professional paid wrestling league. We're not talking about an NIL deal. We're talking about Carter Starocci maybe having a career after college in a professional league. So
no stalling.
No stalling. It's way different rules too, man. I'm gonna take some time next episode. I'm sorry this kind of went smoother and longer than I thought it would. I didn't know we'd be an hour and 30 minutes into it here, and I still got
real quick.
So many topics. Go ahead.
Chamomine is in the portal.
Chamomine in the portal, folks. Yeah. Breaking news. I mean, we have the ability to break news here, dude. And I also have the ability to transfer and show your screen, Kevin. But being that this was the first time doing this, I didn't want to get too crazy.
No, this is the thing. Like, this was cool, man. I think it's going to be, I know what to expect next time, so I'll be a little,
laid back, folks. Pour yourself a drink. Yeah. Start your weekend off just by relaxing, unwinding with us here on BEG Wrestling, where we're just going to talk about what happened this week and summarize it, theorize it, or what's the word I'm looking for when you think up new stuff? I don't know, dude. I don't know. But hey, any final? Let me make sure there's any, because folks, I really want to put an emphasis on reading any and all comments because this is all about the fans. This is a fan experience. I want everyone to be involved in this. Jay Bell, great job, man. I always enjoyed it. Rob Huey, breaking news, AA, Chamomine, and Portal. Folks, we broke it here on BEG Wrestling. If you're listening, you heard it here first. That's just a fact. And New Jersey legend Mike Mao Rhino. Okay, wrestling club back in my day. Jay Bell knows Mike Mao. I have not met Mike Mao. Say that 5 times fast. Mike Mao.
You're like Mike Mao.
All right, man. Kevin, final thoughts, man. You're going to be back next week every single Friday, folks. Join the club. This is going to be fun.
Zach, I think what you got rolling here is awesome, because I look forward to more people calling, because we're just here to just hang out and chat. And all you guys in the comments, that's awesome. And we'd love to just chat with you.
Thank you for all your comments. And I'm going to wear pants next week because I don't know, dude. Apparently there's some might have to edit that visual, but all right, dude. Kevin, thank you, man. Everyone, thanks for watching, folks. Until I guess we'll see you on Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock for the pre-recorded Edited with Wayne, and then back next Friday. Like, comment, subscribe, folks. This is BEG Wrestling. Thank you, Kevin. We will be back.
Thanks, guys.